November 9th, 2020, lesson continued and practice. So first we're going to practice over here on this side, writing two equivalent ratios for each of the ratios given. So we have 4/20ths and then 5/6. So let's start off with the first one, the top one. So 4/20 or 4/20ths or 4/220. So we are going to create similar or equivalent ratios. So, equivalent ratios, you can either multiply or divide. You can multiply by different numbers, that's fine, or you can divide too. So, let's first of all, 4 and 20, let's multiply here. What if we multiplied both the numerator and denominator by, let's say, 2? So, let's multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So, 4 times 2 and then 20 times 2. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. 20 times 2 is going to be 40. Ooh, let's make that a little smaller. Perfect. So there's an equivalent ratio, 8/40ths. You'll get the same answer when you type 8 divided by 40 in your calculator as 4 divided by 20. 4 divided by 20. What about if we multiplied, or what if we divided both the top and bottom? What if we divided both the numerator and denominator by 2? We could do that. I know 4 divided by 2 and 20 divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. And 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. So 2/10 is the same as 4/20ths. And it's the same as 8/40ths. So that's it for the first part. Let's take a look down here. 5/6. So it doesn't look like I can divide both of the numerator and denominator by the same number. But what if we multiplied both times just by different numbers? So if we multiplied 5 and 6 both by, let's do simple as 2. So what you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. 5 times 2 I know is 10. 6 times 2 is going to be 12. So 10/12ths is the same as 5/6, or it's equivalent, equal. Now I can't really divide anything, so let's multiply again. But we have to multiply by a different number to get a different equivalent ratio. So what if we did by 3? You can do that. Make them easier. Or you could do by 10, whatever you want to do. 5, this is just one way. There's many, many, many ways to do it. 5 times 3 I know is 15. 6 times 3 I know is 18. So 15/18ths is the same as 5/6. Also the same as 10/12ths. So that's it for making equivalent ratios. Let's take a look over here though. This is something a little bit more newer. So it says how to determine if ratios are equivalent or equal when using the butterfly method. So a butterfly method is looking at two ratios and seeing if they really are equivalent. So in this case, say we don't have a calculator and we can't do 2 divided by 3 and then 10 divided by 15 to see if they're the same number. So what we can do is something called the butterfly method. It's called the butterfly method because it's cross multiplying here. So a butterfly method, it looks like a butterfly. So we're going to be multiplying and it's going to be looking like a butterfly here. So when we multiply, we're going to crisscross, and it looks like a butterfly. So if you can see here, this first circle. So first of all, it says are 2 to 3 and 10 to 15 equivalent? So that's the same thing as 2/3 and 10/15. Remember, we can write ratios different ways. So 2 to 3 is the same as when you write it with a fraction, 2 to 3. So what we are going to have here is 2/3 equals 10/15. Well, let's see if they equal each other. So we're going to cross multiply. We're going to use our butterfly method and multiply. So what's 10 times 3? I know 10 times 3 is 30. What about 2 times 5? That's 30. 30 and 30. So are these numbers the same? Yes, they are. So if these two numbers are the same, that means that these two ratios are going to be the same or equivalent. So I'm going to circle yes. Yes, they are equivalent. They're equal. They're the same. All right, let's take a look at the bottom one. So are 8/12ths, or 8 to 12 and 4 to 5 equivalent? Remember, we can write them with fractions. 8/12 equals 4/5. Let's see. I don't know. So remember, we're going to cross multiply. I guess I will color code them here. So 4 and 12 are both going to be multiplied. And then we have 8 and 5. Ooh, I'll put that in blue. 8 and 5 will be multiplying those. So 8 times 5. I know 8 times 5 is 40. 12 times 4. I know that 12 times 4, well, 12 plus 12 is 24, and 24, 48. You can also do it off to the side. So is 48 and 40 the same number? No, that's not the same number. So that means they're not equivalent. They're not equal. You can also check by typing in a calculator, I guess. 8 divided by 12 equals 4 divided by 5. So I'm going to kind of color code these up here too, just so you can see which two we actually multiplied. And then that number is in here, and then that number is in there. Perfect. Ooh, I'll put these in green. All right, and that is it for our equivalent ratios, our lesson continued, and our practice. So great job.